This video is going to replace an older video that I'm going to delete from YouTube because I don't like the methodology that's given by the cookbook for the Instant Pot, the instructions for making yogurt. I found a better way. It gives me more consistent results, and I like the finished yogurt much better. So let's make yogurt again. What I'm going to do is something called pot in pot. I'm going to work with a stainless steel bowl, and I'm going to put that inside of my Instant Pot. But first I'm going to pour about a cup of water in there. I'm going to put my bowl in there. Put the lid on. Set this the pressure release thing to sealing. I'm going to press sterilize and set it for 5 minutes. While my Instant Pot is sterilizing itself, I am heating on the stove the milk. I'm actually using half and half. And for those of you who don't know what half and half is, it's a product we have here in the USA. It's part milk, part cream. It makes a richer dairy product that we use mostly in our coffee. I like to make yogurt with it because it makes a richer, I think, better yogurt. So I have the milk heating on the stove to save some time while this is working, and I'm going to heat the milk up to 185 degrees Fahrenheit, which is around 85 degrees Celsius. I'm going to be monitoring it with a digital thermometer. My sterilizing time is done, so I need to release the steam, and I'm going to do that with a chopstick and open this valve. It's going to steam a lot. There we go. The little silver button has dropped down, so that means I can open the pot safely. Okay. And then I'm going to take the bowl out and let this cool down. It's sterilized. Here is my milk. It's been heating. It's come up to 185 degrees Fahrenheit, 85 degrees Celsius. In the meantime, I put cold water in the sink. I'm just going to float this pan in that sink of cold water, and that will cool that milk down quickly. Here is my milk. I cooled this down to 110 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 43 degrees Celsius. Now into this, I'm going to put a good heaping tablespoon or so of yogurt. That's from a previous batch of yogurt. You can use your one batch of yogurt to start your next one. Then when that yogurt gets low, you can use some of that to start your next one. You can just keep going. You don't have to keep buying fresh yogurt. And then I'm going to whisk that in really well. In the meantime, I've added 7 more cups of hot water from my sink. My sink's hot water is set to about 115 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 46 degrees Celsius. 7 cups brings us up to a total of 8 cups now. And then I want to put my bowl inside. I've got a trivet in there, so this will just sit above the bottom of the pot. It'll almost float in there. I don't need this lid. I'm going to press the yogurt button. It's set to normal, and it's set to 12 hours because that's what I always use. My pot has started. The reason why I'm using water is a water bath is more efficient for transferring heat. I found that if I use just the inner pot from the Instant Pot, or if I just placed a bowl in there, I couldn't get the temperature up hot enough. I want to get the temperature up to at least 100 degrees, preferably 110. That's 38 to 43 degrees Celsius. By using a water bath, it maintains an inner temperature of 105 degrees, which I think is perfect. My milk is in there, the culture is in there, that will incubate. The live culture will, over time, convert that milk into yogurt. It's going to take all day. It's almost 9:30 now. Because I used hot water, I've reduced the heat up time, so it's already starting to count. So here we are, 12 hours later, and I gotta tell you, I'm always amazed because I check it. I check it once in a while, like 6 hours, 8 hours, 9 hours. And what I find is just liquid milk, warm liquid milk. And somewhere around hour 11, bingo, it instantly turns into yogurt. I don't know. I don't get it, but it works. And it always works for me. So let's look at it. Okay, so taking my lid off. And there it is. Yogurt. All right, I can slide this over a little bit. Have some paper towel here. Lift this out. It's not too hot to touch. I'm just going to dry that bowl off on the outside because it's all wet from the water bath. And that should be good enough. And then I have some plastic here, some plastic wrap. I'm going to cover this with plastic wrap. I'm going to put this in the refrigerator. You want to put it in the refrigerator for at least 6 hours. I'm just going to put it in overnight. So that ends day one. And by the way, you don't disturb the yogurt. You don't stir it up or anything. You just put that bowl, cover it the way it is, place it in the refrigerator. So tomorrow we'll talk about straining it. So here we are now, the beginning of day 2. My yogurt has been in the refrigerator overnight. The next step is to strain it. That gets the whey out, which makes the yogurt watery. So if you strain it for 1 to 2 hours, you get a regular yogurt. Greek yogurt is strained a lot longer, 6 to 8 hours, even overnight. I'm going to strain mine all day because I like the thicker, creamier texture of the Greek yogurt. I'm going to use a plastic bin. You could use a stainless steel bowl to catch the whey. As far as straining it, you can start with a sieve if you want. I'm not going to use one. I'm going to use a colander, because I have a colander that fits very nicely in that plastic dish. And then I'm going to use a large coffee filter that I buy locally. If you can't buy the large ones, you can always use cheesecloth, or even muslin would work. Several layers of cheesecloth or 1 layer of muslin. All right, put that in there. I like this filter because it's just the right size to hold the yogurt that I make 1 quart at a time. And there's I got to show you this. Look how nicely that's set up. Yogurt. I like making yogurt. Okay, I need a spoon up here. And then I'm just going to start scooping my yogurt in there. This is already so thick. Last step is to cover this with plastic wrap. And then put this back in the refrigerator. I'm going to let it sit in there all day. So here we are now, evening. This has been draining all day. I don't know how well you can see that, but there's the whey in the bottom. All of that has come out of my yogurt. So I'm ready now to transfer this into a storage container. This goes pretty easily, but I have to say it does get a little messy because the coffee filter tears. So I have to get my hand in underneath it. Boom. And then try to peel all this paper back. And invariably, I sometimes later on find bits of paper in my yogurt. All right, I've got to rinse my hands. At this point, it helps to try to stir this up a little bit to kind of even it out, because around the edges where the paper is, it'll be thicker and drier, and in the center it'll be more moist. All right, one more time. Mess up my fingers. And then wash my fingers again. How I like to eat yogurt. So I'm going to put a small amount in there. I'm going to put some vanilla in there. Maybe a couple of squirts of vanilla. Normally I would eat more than that. I like to have yogurt for breakfast. And then put a nice spoon of honey in there. Get that stirred up. And that is my favorite way of eating yogurt. So there is my yogurt. It's easy to make. Hopefully you appreciated that. There's just a lot of waiting time. You set it up, you wait 12 hours. You put it in the refrigerator, you wait overnight or 8 hours. You set it up to drain, you wait 6 to 8 hours. It's a lot of waiting. But other than that, I mean, this is not a labor of love. It's very easy to make. Okay, taste my homemade yogurt. Delicious. I love yogurt. That is so nice. So excuse me, I'm going to go enjoy my evening snack of homemade yogurt. To view the recipe and download a PDF version with step-by-step photographs, visit my website, mobilehomegourmet.com.